I need to wait for the actual Facebook link. Sorry, let me go to Google Hangouts. There we go. Yeah, nice and bright. I need to wait for the first Google Hangouts link to be created, and then I will be able to give you the actual link. For now, I can give you the link for episode 1 and episode 2, and at some point I'll join those, the other 2 links together. So let me just get that for you. I shall put that in the description below, and then you will have access to episode 1 and episode 2 to watch at your convenience. It's a nice sunny day here in the UK, and I hope it's been a wonderful day in Kampala and in Uganda in general. But let me, oh, why is my video gone off? There we go, my video has come back. Very good. So I'm just getting that link ready for you. And, oh, let's hope that was the right one. Anybody interested in chatting today? And is there a second person watching, or is it me monitoring the chat? I thought I put those notifications off because that's disturbing my phone now. So let's have a look and see. What did we have today? We had 3 very competent contestants. There we go. Help me, yeah. Judith, hi, how are you doing? It's on that side. Let me move forward, but it's nice leaning, yeah. Judith, how are you doing? I know you're very busy. Did you manage to watch the show? We had 3 new contestants. One of them put a lot of oil in their omelette, and the judge said that it was like this side. It's like they were eating Vaseline. Nice to have you here. If you're able to share this stream for me, Judith, kindly do. But I'm trying to, we've just watched the Let's Cook. We've just watched the Let's Cook TV show that I've created. And this is a stream, you can see. This is a stream to allow people to discuss what we've just witnessed. So this was quite an interesting one because we had 3 contestants, lots of different mishaps. There's someone that burnt the tablecloth. She also burnt her oven glove. Somebody broke a spice and then hit his head. So yeah, lots going on. And then the person that had no issues at all, that was just the person that was just, you know, she said she didn't burn any food, she didn't cut herself, she didn't, you know, burn any towels. That person was the one who actually left. So, so yeah, you never know in life. Sometimes you think that things have gone wrong. You think that things are, you know, irreparable. And, but then it just so happens that you manage to make it through. So with these things, never give up in life, never lose hope. Just keep doing what you do, even when you meet challenges and when you face challenges. If you continue to persevere and continue to push through, you don't know what's going to happen on the other side. So thank you, Mike Times. Thank you very much. What was your favorite meal that was prepared on the show? Which one did you prefer? Did you have a favorite meal? Because this week they cooked fish. Their main ingredients, the three main ingredients were fish, potato, and an egg. And we saw that one of the contestants forgot to put the egg as part of their meal. His excuse was that the egg hatched, which I thought was quite witty. So what was your favorite meal, would you say? Out of all the three? Am I too far away from my internet? Because the image looks pixelated on one screen, but then on the Google Hangout page, it looks fine. It looks fine to me. Let's see if I could get a better. That's better, isn't it? I think that's better. Let's see. I'm just trying to get better lighting. Oh, there we go. I need to be careful not to touch my screen too much because it's a touch screen. So I have to be careful there. So yes, what was your favorite meal out of the three? Oh, so Sharon's fish, the person's fish that you preferred is the person that left. And you know, to be honest, I think all the meals to me looked really good because Sharif's fish looked really crispy, but then succulent inside. And then Judith's fish just looked really moist and juicy because it had the sauce in the middle bit. And then Sharon's fish, I think that was the one that the judges were like, they're going to finish it. So yeah, it's one of those things that sometimes it's also the combination of the other, how you make the other things with it. And I think on the day as well, I remember one of the comments from the judges was that Edith boiled her potatoes, but Sharon boiled her potatoes and put like some herbs and spices in it, so it gave it a different taste. But yeah, you just never know. So Mike Time says, I think it's tough for the judges. Yes. Robert said the deliberations were difficult. Yeah, I don't know. I think like now, I think I would relish the challenge of being a judge. But at the same time, because I like food and I appreciate different tastes, I think I'd find it quite difficult to pick one over the other, and it would really be down to the wire. It would really be, there's something specific that one person did that the other person didn't do, or likewise, or maybe the salt balance or something like that. But I don't think there were any meals that were prepared that were bad. Do you see what I mean? So it must be a hard job actually deciding who you go for and what reason. So that you'd have to justify as well. You'd have to justify the reason as to why you're letting that person go or why you're letting that person stay. So yeah. Yes, it is. So they have to come to a consensus in terms of they don't all have to, they have to agree that that's the person they're going to eliminate. But somebody might have liked the person's dish who was leaving, but the other judges really would have to convince that person as to why the other two should stay or deserve to stay. So I think really as a judge, you have to fight your corner, and you have to know why you are making that decision. So you want this person to stay because, and you really have to fight that corner if you really believe that they deserve to stay, and you have to have a reason for them deserving to stay. Because yes, I don't think you'd ever get any three people that will agree on everything all the time. I mean, there are some outstanding, there's some cases where the food is just so outstanding that they all have to agree that that needs to stay. And we saw that in round one with Pablo's matoke balls. So we saw that Pablo's matoke balls were sort of a favorite amongst all the judges. And yeah, and so it was nice seeing that they kind of all agreed on that. But then everyone else, I think everybody else was sort of debatable. They could have argued it out. So yes, must be very hard being a judge. Very hard being a judge. So what do you think about the characters and the life stories that we heard of this week? Because we heard a few of them. It was nice hearing that they give back to the community. So we heard about that. Sorry, I'm just trying to get a good angle. Yeah, that's better. So we heard that they, some of them, or all of them actually in this group, give back to the community. And then we also heard, oh, I don't know why my screen's just gone. But we also heard about Sharon's story. So we heard about Sharon's story and about her life story, really, and about how, you know, things happened in her life and she had to overcome certain situations in her life, having a child alone, having to raise that child, and having also the added burden of knowing that the person that you thought you'd spend the rest of your life with has now decided to start a new life with somebody else that you're close to. And going through that process of forgiveness, of releasing, and of moving on in life to a point where, you know, she's able to stand on her own 2 feet, pour out her love to her daughter, and still maintain a friendship with the people that initially hurt her. So I think that's a good life lesson that we can all learn from Sharon Amoyne. And really, it's great that she was able to share that story as well, because it's not easy sharing your life. But when it's for the purpose of other people learning and other people being able to engage with life and maybe overcome certain barriers that they're going through, then yeah, I think that's a good thing. So did you gain anything from that life story, life experience? Or what did you think of the story, I should ask? Did I read that? What's the criteria for judging? Is it a majority decision? Oh, I read that already, okay. So I think for me, I'm just going to talk to myself in case anybody is going to listen to this afterwards. We can all learn something, a thing or two about, you know, we can all learn a thing or two about other people's lives, through other people's lives, should I say. And I think if we are ourselves, if we're willing to share a little bit about our lives, it can encourage other people. And that's one of the reasons why I started this YouTube channel, It was a case of saying, you see the end product, but what is the in between? What's the in between? What happens behind the scenes? And you might be going through exactly the same situation in terms of maybe you have an idea, but you don't know how to action it, or you're in the process of actioning it, and you just want to be able to know that there are people out there to encourage you. So that's sort of one of the reasons why I started this channel. But sharing life stories, and Ingero means proverbs or stories. Production companies is the tagline. It's Ingero Productions, bringing stories to life. I think we learn a lot through stories, and people who are willing to learn from others, really can enrich their own lives by doing that, by learning from others, by listening to other people's stories, by reflecting on what they can gain from that story or what they can gain from that other person's life experience, as well as your own, of course, because if you have your own personal life experiences, then you can learn from that. You can actually, move forward and learn from your own life experience if you stop and take the time to reflect on it, take the time to analyze what happened here, how can I do things either the same or differently depending on how it went. But then I think it's also a good thing to learn from other people's experiences, so that, because you only have one life, right? It's hard for you to live somebody else's experience, live your own experience, then live somebody else. But you can observe. You can observe people, and you can say, that happened to that person. They did X, Y, and Z. What can I pick from that person's experience? And what do I have that can either help that person, or that person can help me through their experience? So yes, I think it was really good just having that story shared by Sharon Amoyne. And hopefully that will inspire other people out there who are going through a single motherhood, or who are single mothers, and maybe at this point in time they're really struggling. They don't, because what she was saying that, there's a point where she couldn't eat, she couldn't sleep. She was in that state of desperation. And maybe people out there who watch this show can look at her example and see that there is light at the end of the tunnel. You can make it through this process. You can, make it through the other side. And finding people that can, finding it within yourself, first of all, to get to that place where you know that there is light at the end of the tunnel. And although you are in that state of desperation, you can see that there is a way forward, that other people have been through exactly the same thing that you've been through, and they've come out at the other end. Look at Sharon Amoyne, for example. Her daughter is 9 years old now. And, they have a wonderful relationship. They're a blessing to each other. They're living life, enjoying life. So, she's very committed to her faith as well. And, so that's the type of thing that it's not the end of the world. So don't give up hope. Don't lose hope. Reach out to people, reach out to other people that maybe have been through the same situation, or maybe have been through this situation, or maybe, can see your situation and isn't sort of judging you, but rather would be there to encourage you. So I'm just sending a quick message. So it's finding those people, and it's looking at how mentally you can switch it around and turn it around so that you don't feel like the whole world is working against you. You don't feel like there is no hope. You know, there are people who've been through the same situation, people who have been through the same situation as you, but and have made it through on the other end. So yes, my encouragement to you would be that life goes on even in the midst of desperation. You might be there and you think there is no hope, nothing can move forward from this point in time. I'm just going to see if I can find a way to mute. Yes, so finding that thing within yourself to realize that it's not the end of the world. Although it seems the feelings are there, there's no denying that the feeling, you know, if you're a single mother, for example, you thought life was going to be different. You are in a situation where your family disapproves of what's happened, but you have a child growing within you. You know, you've got the hormones that are affecting you as well. And then you're in that position where you're feeling judged. The more you begin to show again, and then people ask you, oh, when did you do your engagement, or where's your husband? Then again, all those feelings of abandonment or whatever rush back. So in that situation there, you might not be able to find somebody that you know, a shoulder to cry on. That's the reality of life. You might find that you are ostracized or you're pushed away from society because everyone is like, oh no, you've done something. But the reality of life is there is a human being coming into the world, right? There's no changing that. There's a human being coming into the world. And you also are a human being. You're somebody's daughter. You're somebody's sister. You know, you're somebody's friend. So I think this is really an encouragement as well for those, the onlookers. When somebody is pregnant, and when somebody is, especially if the other half, their partner, has, for whatever reason, because there might be so many reasons. It could be that the person has died. It could be that the person left the country. There's so many reasons why somebody might be have a child and the other person isn't there. But just put yourselves in the shoe of the person who is with child. They don't have any support from society. They might not have support from their family. And by support, I don't mean, you know, that people are doing anything in particular, but it's a case of by things that they don't do, they're in some ways pushing that person down or pushing that person away, rather than realizing that actually this is the most important time, even mentally, that this person needs support. They need those words of encouragement to keep going in life, to think about their future, to think about what they're going to do in terms of positively, not judgmentally, not, you know, what are you going to do about the child? You know, how are you going to look after the child? Not like that. But what I mean is helping the person find ways forward to make a plan so that life is stable for them and that child. So I think that's something that we can all do in society. There are different situations that we as a society have been taught to maybe frown upon a certain thing. One of those things is single parenthood. Now, if we just switch it around, number one, put yourself in the situation, but then some people will be like, oh, but I've never been in that situation. Okay, fair enough. You might never be in that situation, but that person that is in that situation, are they not still a member of this human race? Are they not still a soul? Are they not still a created being? So do they not deserve, you know, the love that Jesus Christ talked about? Even more so, because they are holding and developing within them is another human being who'll be affected by their emotions, by everything else. So I know sort of this has kind of gone on on as a rant to be more compassionate to people who find themselves without support and they are pregnant. Maybe they're single parents. And this also goes the other way. It could even be a man that has been left with a child and their partner, either they've died, either they're in prison, either they're, you know, they have a life situation, which means that they're not able to look after that child. So it could even be a man raising a child by themselves. Remember that that person is an individual. Remember, the child is an individual. The child didn't ask to be born into a society that looks down on them and would call them names as, you know, an illegitimate child or things like that. By doing things like that, that's not helping anyone. That's not helping anyone to grow, to develop, to live a fulfilled life. If anything, that's giving them a complex. So please, let's be careful about the words that we choose to use when we see people that don't fit the norm of society. They're not in a perfect, quote unquote, household, for example, with the mom, the dad, the children, the siblings. Let's actually show true love as Christ showed us the example. You know, even if you say that, okay, this person that's done this is my enemy. Well, what does the Bible tell you to do? Love your enemies. Pray for those who persecute you. So, yes, episode 3 of Let's Cook is out. And Sharon Amoyne shared a very, very personal story about having to leave home. She was with a stepmother, growing up life with a stepmother. They got kicked out of home. She had to find her own way. She met a man, and she thought they were going to start a life together. She got pregnant, and he, for whatever reason, went off with her best friend and left her. And she was, at that stage, pregnant, without a home, a family, so to speak. And she felt desperate. She couldn't sleep. She couldn't eat. So think about that. How many people out there are in that same situation right now that you can have a positive impact on, that I can have a positive impact on? Even if it's just a case of asking them how the pregnancy is going, talking about normal pregnancy stuff that you would talk about to somebody else that you know is in, a two-parent relationship. Even that can help lift their spirits in a period of time where hormonally they are going through a lot. So, hey, Shaila, nice to have you. Just a quick question so that I know what to say to you. Did you watch episode 3 of Let's Cook? I'm going to get the link so that I can put it out there. And just for those of you who are in here, Shaila has a YouTube channel, so feel free to check her out afterwards and subscribe to her. So yes, I'm just talking about in a story that was shared in episode 3 of Let's Cook, which just aired, and I'll be getting the link to it and posting it so that people can see the link. There was a lady there called Sharon Amoyne. She had to leave home when she was younger. She was with a stepmom. They kicked them out of home once I think it was like 18, they had to get out. Then she met a guy, and she got pregnant. The guy went off with her best friend and left her pregnant, without a home, without stability. And she felt like she couldn't eat, she couldn't sleep. But then the positive thing about this is that she now, her daughter is 9 years old. They have a lovely life together. She has grown and developed as a human being. And she's now on a cooking show where she was able to share her story to other people out there. And, the one thing that she said, which I really liked, was that, when you are in the fire, there's a fire at home, put out the fire first at home before going out, so that if there's problems out, you can always run back home. So that's one of the things that she said. So hopefully there'll be people out there as well that would hear that message and try and sort things out at home. Whether the situation is that it's the stepmom or that, I don't know, life is just so difficult at home. Or maybe the child did something and the parents are angry and there's a bit of animosity. Please, 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 as much as you can, both parties, parents, children, siblings, if it's within your power, try. Sometimes it's very difficult and sometimes it's very hard. But if it's within your power, try to solve the situations at home, so that if you do have to go out into the big wide world, there's always that base. You always have that foundation, that base of family that you can go back to. And it might not even be biological family, because there are people that have grown up in children's homes. So it might be your brothers and sisters that grew up with you from a children's home, or it could be a sports club, or it could be any sort of community that you can have some refuge in. It's always good to make sure that if there's strife or discord, and if it's within your power, if you can settle that before moving on with whatever new you want to do, it gives you the opportunity to go back. But yes, watch episode 3 of Let's Cook. Watch the stories, be encouraged by Sharon's story. And obviously, when she was actually sharing the story, she shared a lot more. But because we have to fit everything into the 24 minutes, I had to make the executive decision of what to cut and what to keep. But that bit about quenching the fire at home before you leave so that you can come back, I had to keep that, because that wasn't actually in. And I had to take a few other things out and then put that back in again. So yes, I will get the link for you for episode 3 of Let's Cook. And also the link for episode 1 is above. If you scroll up, you'll be able to watch episode 1 of Let's Cook. And hopefully you'll enjoy that again. But the exciting thing is that the semi-finals are finally here. The semi-finals are finally here. And we will be getting the contestants will really, really have to show what they're made of now. They will have to show what they're made of and turn up the heat. We've got Pablo, we've got Paul Wanyala and John Paul O'Mara, who are going to be in the next episode, which is the first of the semi-finals. And then in the next group, we'll have Edith Kwagala, Sharif Mabingo, and Hakeem Bwanika. Those 3 will be competing against each other. So we'll have to see how that goes. Anyone who watched the show, any questions? And I'm trying to get that link for you. I'm trying to get that link for you all so that later on, you can just copy the link from here and watch. And Laba. So yeah, I don't know if any of you been in situations in life where you have been judged by society and society has kind of forgotten that you also are a human being. Or have you found yourself in a situation where you have judged others and on reflection, you realize that, oh, that was actually not a loving thing to do, the way you treated that person. Because we always can learn from our our mistakes and from our lives. Sorry that I'm looking down. I'm just trying to get the link for the Facebook so that I can then get the real link for episode 3 for you. Okay, there we go. There it is. And let me see if I can share it. Copy link. There we go. Yep. I've got the link for you. Yay! You'll be the first group. You'll be the first group to get this link. Right, so what do I need to do now? I need to send it as a WhatsApp to somebody. I have my go-to. Right, okay. And then I now need to come up here. You see technology. Any questions? I'll be wrapping this up in 29, no, how many minutes? 20 minutes? Because I can talk forever and ever and ever about the values and the life stories in Let's Cook. Okay, right, I've got this link for you. Wait for it, wait for it, wait for it. The link for episode 3 of Let's Cook is about to drop. Once my phone connects to WhatsApp Live, there we go, I'm on. Okay, let me get it to you now. So this is the link now for episode 3. I'm going to put all 3 together. Oops. Supposed to say episode 3 of Let's Cook. And just give me one moment. I'm back. Okay, so yes. So that's the link there for episode 3 of Let's Cook. And kindly share that out so that others can see it. Then we'll have episode 1, episode 2, and episode 3. And I'll create a WhatsApp thing with all 3 episodes in one thing so that nobody misses out. And spread the word as well, because the thing is that Record TV isn't as known to some people. If they're used to watching other stations, then they wouldn't necessarily know to go and watch it there. So if you spread the word to them, they would then be able to engage with the program and know that it is on every Saturday at 7 p.m. Ugandan time. It's repeated again on Sunday at noon. Sorry, Sunday at noon. So they can catch up then as well. But right now it is available using that link on the Facebook page. On the Facebook page. So you can actually watch that right now. It's currently 825 views Although while watching it was, I think there were about 18 people watching it live with me when I was watching it. So add yourself to that number and then also look for the other episodes, but I'll put that in the link and send it to people on WhatsApp as well so that you can easily just forward that on to your friends and family so that they can enjoy as well. But the semifinals are here. You heard that, didn't you? The voiceover. The semifinals are here, and 6 contestants will be come to. Yeah, 6-2. That's a lot. In the semifinals, we're going to lose 2 people in each group. So, yeah, so it's going to be a tough one because nobody wants to leave. Of course, nobody wants to leave, but the judges have to decide, you know, based on what they have seen in front of them. And some of the favorites, if they don't step up their game in the semifinals, then they'll have to leave. But I'm keeping my mouth sealed. I'm keeping my mouth sealed. I will not disclose who makes it through to the finals. But one thing I will say is if you're watching the show and you watch it in order, episode 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 4 and 5, they're not out yet. But we've just finished episode 3. Watch it in order, and then by the time you get to episode 6, the only thing I can say is make sure you have a handkerchief next to you. Make sure you have a tissue next to you. Yes, that's all I will say. Now my lips are sealed. My lips are definitely sealed. But yeah, I think the meals today were really, I mean, even just thinking about it, my mouth's watering, really succulent because it was fish. And they all did their fish differently. And potatoes, yeah, one was diced. Another person put herbs. Another person just boiled. So, yeah, I guess that's just 15 minutes left. And then I'm off. some work going there behind me. Yeah, so the meals themselves, they use different methods. One person fried, one person put it in the oven. No, 2 of them fried the fish. Then one put it in the oven after seasoning it with butter and herbs. So different methods, but very, very tasty food because I tasted it myself. So yeah, mouth-watering food. So yes, I think it's one of those things that if you are willing to learn from other people, always keep your ears open, always listen, always take on something from someone else positive. Even if someone's doing something that you might disagree with, you can always learn from that. Even the fact that you disagree with it means that you're learning about yourself. So taking time to reflect on life and always growing as a person is a good thing. Yes, it's always a good thing. Should always be a good thing. So my time is almost up. Got 10 minutes left. And Thank you, all those who were able to come in. Shaila, if you're still here, check out I Am Judith. This is not her. That's not her actual thing. Let me see if I can get her real link. Judith, if you're still there and you can hear me, are you able to drop your link, please? And then you'll be able to connect that way as well. So that should be nice for you both to connect with each other. And let me just scroll up, make sure that I haven't missed anyone. No, I haven't. Okay, that's good. Mike Times isn't a YouTuber, so it would just be yourselves to connect to each other. But yes, episode 3, we had burning dishcloths, we had breaking spices, we had banging of heads, we had personal life stories shared in a sensitive way. We had people sharing how they give back to community, you know, and I think Sharif Mbingo says that he started an NGO with his friends from school that helps, they go into schools and they help mentor young adults. They help mentor them and to help them to have people to look up to and guide them. So that's a wonderful initiative. And then Sharon Amoyne, she was saying that she gives whatever she can, any little help she can, just to support family members and helping people in a desperate situation. And yeah, so it's a case of learning from their example as well. If there are ways that we as individuals can give back to the community, and it might be in the strangest ways. It might just be using your talent. You know, if you're a singer, creating songs that touch people, creating music that speaks to people's hearts and that can change people's hearts. That might be your gift to society, you giving back to society. You know, for somebody who, I think one of the contestants says that she cooks. So cooking for family, cooking for friends, cooking for events, funerals, those types of things, that's also giving back to society. Because, you know, especially like, let's say, for example, in the funeral, if you're able to help the family by cooking and staying and peeling the matoke and doing that effort that you've put into helping that family function will go a long way to easing people's pain. You can't bring the person back to life, but at least you've made the stress of preparing and whatnot for maybe the widow or the widower, you've made that a little bit lighter. So if we can find as human beings, it's very, opportunities to bless humanity and society, then we should use them. I mean, I took this opportunity to create Let's Cook because there are messages, value messages within Let's Cook that I hope will speak to society and help us be more loving and compassionate to one another. So Sharon's story there of being a pregnant single mother, feeling abandoned, feeling like she couldn't eat, she couldn't sleep. Somebody hearing that, next time they meet somebody in that situation, rather than just immediately thinking, oh my goodness, how could they do that? They've made their family ashamed, or having those, that kind of attitude towards them. Maybe instead of having that attitude, when they watch Let's Cook and watch Sharon's story, they can now see that person as an individual with feelings, with emotions, somebody that they didn't plan that for themselves, but that's the situation that they're in. And they are loving that situation because they've grown to accept it as that's who they are now. So I think the onlookers, people that are looking from outside, if they can be more understanding that that is another member of humanity, my brother, my sister, regardless of who they are, and how can I show love rather than judgment or hatred towards them? And it's very, very hard because we've all grown up with certain perceptions, or, and it's very easy to stick on those things in our mind rather than focusing on the fact that that is a person. So yeah, as much as we can, let's help make this planet a better place, and let's help encourage one another to be the best versions of ourselves. It's very hard, especially, you know, like if you've got a young family, your life is just taken. I'm just putting the video off a bit because my daughter's just come to sit next to me, which is lovely. I know, Raya. But I don't want her to be on camera. So she's off site here now, so that's fine. Let's keep that on. So yes, just the fact that, what was I saying? Just the fact that we as human beings, we can do something to make somebody else's experience on this earth a better place. But the reality of life is that life is busy. You know, you've got your own things going on, you've got your own issues, but then those moments that we have that interaction with somebody else, taking the moment just to be silent sometimes is the key. Pardon? Are you hungry? Taking the moment to be silent is sometimes the key. And then realizing that, how can I bless this person? How can I encourage this person to, or how can I encourage myself to be better? So yes, that would be my rant of the week. Until next week. Hi, Comedy Club E-Series. How are you? How are you? I'm just logging off in about 5 minutes time. We've been talking about my TV show, Let's Cook. And the link to episode 3 is above. The link to episode 1 is also above. And I will drop the link to episode 2. So everyone out there, Comedy Club E-Series is also a YouTuber. Shyla is a YouTuber. And I think Judith is not here anymore, but if you look for I Am Judith Fit. Hello. My daughter's just going under the cushion and making my pillow fall off. Noriah, careful. Hello. So I will be signing off at past on the dot because I will be having family time. But feel free to replay the video and listen to what we said. We talked about some of the characters on the show. There's somebody who shared their personal life story about getting pregnant when they were 9 years ago. And they were left, the person who they were pregnant with, unfortunately, for whatever reason, went with their best friend, and they were left to raise a child. But life has turned out well for them now because they are able to, be who they are, have a loving relationship with their daughter, and also with their two friends, the guy and the other girl. So forgiveness is also an important thing in life. Instead of rotting, yourself within from feeling the pain and the anxiety. And it's easier said than done, but letting go. Letting go is, I know I am. How are you? Good. Letting go is always good if you can. So I shall say toodaloo. Say toodaloo. Good girl. And kindly go back and good toodaloo. Kindly go back and see what we've been talking about. Yes, darling. Yes. Yes, my love. I'm going to come off and give you my full attention, my dear. Okay. Pardon? Yeah, yes. I'm just logging off. So thank you once again. Don't forget, next Saturday, Let's Cook will be on next Saturday at 7 p.m. Ugandan time, 5 p.m. UK time on Record TV Uganda, on their Facebook page if you're watching from outside Uganda. Just go to their posts and you'll see their live videos close to the time. And then also look within this stream, because I have placed the link for episode 1 and episode 2, and no, episode 1 and episode 3. And I'm about to place the link for episode 2 as well. Just give me a moment. I will do that before I log off, and then you've got all 3 to click on and watch the show. So it's a cooking competition, reality TV show, but oh, yes, that is, where did I buy it from? I think somebody gave it to us. Yes, but it's a cooking competition format, but it focuses on, or ultimately shares the lives of the life stories of the contestants. Oops, the life stories of the contestants. So, yeah, that's really one of my main aims there, was to get those life stories out so that people can relate to them and realize that we all are people on this planet that go through different life situations, but we're all here. So this is episode 2. That's episode 2 of Let's Cook. Episode 1 was there as well, and then episode 3 is also there. So enjoy watching, and I shall see you here next week at the same time, which is just after the show finishes, which would be 5:30 UK time and 7:30 Ugandan time. So you can come here and talk about the show, talk about the favorite dishes, talk about whether you think the person who left should have left, and or it might just be like a rant like I just did today when I talked about Sharon's story. But thank you very, very much. Thank you very, very much for coming in. Shout out to Judith, Shyla, Comedy Club E-Series. Thank you all very much, and don't forget to share this video as well. Take care for now, and don't forget to thumbs up. That would be also useful. And if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe. Take care for now. Bye-bye.